I went live before 2 o'clock. How about that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I threw you off. So, how many seconds before? About 40 seconds. So you're all scattering. Oh, wait a minute. It's supposed to start. None of you are scattering. I'm making all that up. Welcome back. It is the Kristian Harloff Show today here on this Wednesday. I got my days right. And it is Superman week. And man, this thing's already targeting a big opening. We're going to discuss that. What's going to happen with Superman? Is it going to be a big old huge 200 million global start? And then right after that, 2 weeks later, Fantastic Four comes out. People who already saw it saying this is the best Marvel movie since Endgame. How many times have we heard that? Is it true? Dune Messiah, no longer Dune Messiah. Dune 3. And HBO Max is back. That's just some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about with myself, Chris Carr, and Brett Sheridan on today's show. Let's do it, yo. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the show here today. It is Wednesday. Joining me on the show, as always, Chris Carr. Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's nice to have you on. And I guess now it's going to be your partner in crime, Brett Sheridan.
Hey, look at that. Look at that mic arm right now. There we go. Whoa,
the two most informed individuals in movies there are.
Yes.
That's right. Well, half of that is true. Half of that is true. It's my favorite. Brett will send me comments sometimes with people who still don't get it, and they go, "Why is Brett on this show? He doesn't know anything about movies." It's like, first of all, Brett is one of the funniest people you're ever gonna meet in your life. And I don't like to just have informed people on here. I want people who know absolutely nothing about movies.
I think that's a better way to get your finger on the pulse. One of my buddies still talks about your set that we did at the Comedy Store, Brett. My friend
really?
Tanya LaHoo. Yeah, she's this incredible Marvel artist, Tanya LaHoo. She was like, "You were fine, Chris, but Brett was so funny." I was like, "Thank you so much."
I literally sent that set to somebody this morning.
Oh, that's the one. Okay.
Yeah, I can actually. What's funny about it is that I guess I can tell people now too, as they've been knowing, I'm working on the pilot. I sent the Grasping Show's pilot's right up, but it hit the 10,000. So thank you guys for that. But we're working on, and I said I've been inspired by Chris Stuckman and what he did, and he raised about 1.2 million to do a film, and then that upped once he got it picked up. I want to do a Kickstarter to shoot this pilot that we are going to do, and my friend Martini and I are writing it, and we finished the first draft, and I'd sent it out, and there's a couple. We were going through it, and she's like, "Who did you have in mind for this character?" And I said, "Brett." And she's like, and I was like, "Okay, good." I said, "I can send you the stand up because the character's supposed to have like a nervous energy." And I was like, "It's Brett. Brett lives in nervous energy." So I sent that out, and we're really close. We're getting some notes right now, and then once the notes come back, I send it out to the director, and hopefully the director likes it, and then we're cooking with gas. So that is what we are doing thus far right now with that. So, but that's not what we're talking about today, guys. We are going to be discussing what is happening with Superman. The movie is coming out, and here you go already. Look at this. Superman is targeting a 200 million global start. That is what is being said. I believe it. All right. So there he is. There's David Cornsweet with, speaking of Frank Grillo is going to be on Matt Serra's show next week.
Nice.
Just found that out. Box office tracking figures for James Gunn's Superman appear to be on the rise. The film is reportedly on track for a domestic opening of over 100 million, says the studio, with third-party tracking services putting the number closer to 115 to 130. The film is also opening in 78 markets overseas, where it is likewise expected to nab an opening of 100 million, bringing its worldwide opening weekend to a minimum of 200 million, likely over. It's definitely going to do over 200 million. The film first appeared on tracking services NRG 3 weeks ago with a figure of 135 million, a number that quickly dropped to 130, but has remained steady since. With reviews singing the praises now floating around, it's expected to only boost the film's fortunes. Domestic pre-sales stand at 20 million, ahead of Guardians Volume 3, which opened at 118.4. The film will top the chart, pushing Jurassic World Rebirth down to second place in its second weekend, with a 55% drop expected and a domestic second weekend haul of 60 million. The first of these sold-out Amazon Prime member paid screenings of Superman kick off tonight at 7 p.m. Okay. Chris, you see these numbers and the projection, what they're supposed to be. 200 to me seems really low as far as what they're projecting. I think it's going to be closer to 300 myself, but what do you think?
I think so too. I think that's a really modest estimate, but I also think there's been so much talk around this movie of it has to make $1 billion or it's a failure and all this other nonsense that I feel like we're just getting this kind of, let's dip our toe in the water and go, it's going to at least make this. And that's fine. That's totally cool. This movie just needs to break even, really. But I do think it's going to do significantly more than that 200 number.
I do too. And I think, well, as far as opening weekend, I think opening weekend, I think it makes about 130. I think that's what's going to do.
Okay.
He's tracking. He's going to blow past the 110, 115. I think he's do 130. And I think it'll open between 3 to 350 worldwide, I think, if not more. Because you can always tell like the hype behind a movie when you really look online. And I'll tell you, sometimes you put an out of the theater reaction or something up and it will do well. And it doesn't mean the movie's going to do well. I mean, I have done Snow White did 105,000, but that was a different reason. People want to see it. Is it as terrible as I think it is? Sometimes that happens. I remember what was that movie with Adam Driver that came out about he crashed on a planet. It was like
47 or something like that.
Something like that.
It was a number.
Yeah. That I don't know how nobody saw that movie. That reaction alone did like 60 to 80,000 views, and I was like, does that mean this movie's going to do well? No, it doesn't. I mean, people could be curious about it and they stay away from it. This is different. Everybody that I did this morning. I did a search for out of the theater reactions. There are people who are doing this that are just fans who just got to see it a little early, doing it and promoting it and getting the word out there. And the other thing is that I'd say, you look at the score, I think it's like 80, 85 on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it's like 90 on the fan score right now. It goes a long way. There are people, and I'll give my, initial thoughts on it because I put out my review this morning on it. And I just say it now. I think that because I kept my out of the theater reaction. I said, I think that what it did well and what I was concerned with, there's a balance to me that sometimes, especially in a James Gunn movie, that the humor can overtake it, right? And it can overtake certain moments. And there are some people who feel that that's exactly what happened in this movie. There are some reviewers that thought exactly that. The reason why, surprisingly, which I usually always feel that with movies when it comes out of nowhere, I just feel the tone is consistent. I feel like the tone, I feel like they set you up from the beginning that this is how it's going to happen. And these are the types of people that are going to say it. And these are how the characters are. That when it happened for me, I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, you could have sat in that moment a little bit more. And I think you probably could have developed the character a little bit more. But you told me pretty early on that that's not what we're doing in this movie. And the criticism, and because Dan Merle's a very close friend of mine, and people kept sending me his reviews like, look what Dan said. Do you agree? I understand his criticisms 100%. I happen to agree with a lot of them. But what I'm going to tell you is there's a difference in if you're enjoying what is set up and the tone that is presented, you can look past some of those things and go, I'm just having a fun time with this. If you can't look past some of those things, you're going to have a look and go, look, I'm just watching this sort of critical eye. I'm not enjoying this film. And this is how I'm presenting it. I agree with a lot of what Dan said. I just had a lot of fun with the film, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You can enjoy something and it can still have issues.
Yeah.
And you can really dislike something and understand where it does have merit. And I know this week, Brett, I'm working on it. I'm going to have some really ridiculous snap judgments so that we get more clicks. I'm going to be a real asshole in this episode.
Good.
But your reviews can have some nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Brett, what do you think about this movie?
I totally agree. Well, no, I think that, yes, as far as the numbers, I feel like that's, when my dad was like, oh, yeah, I was all right at ping pong, I guess, when I was a kid, and then just destroys me playing ping pong as a child. It's they're lowballing it so they don't get destroyed. That's what my thought on that is. I think that, when we were talking about last week, not a lot of people of the average Joe knowing about whether there's a new Superman or if this is coming out. I do think that when they do find out and as they find out, I think that people will go to this because I think Superman's a universally loved
right.
character, and it's something that people are going to go, oh, there is, oh, I'd love to go see that. It's not like something they don't know about.
It's exactly right. It's an IP that people are very familiar with, and it is a different version of Superman. And I think I think you're gonna love it, Kris. I think you're gonna love it. I think it's such a comic book movie. It really is a comic movie. But my friend last night, my friend David told me, he said, "What am I gonna think about Superman?" I said, "You're gonna hate it." He's gonna hate it because he's not it is very much aimed at the comic book movie and comic book fan. Very much so. It's not really aimed at the casual fan. It really isn't. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That's you're alienating people. Not really, because comic book movie fans and the comic books in general, the audience has grown significantly over 10 years. It's a very large audience. So you can still make a lot of money with just that audience. But I do think that there's going to be some people who see the movie going, oh, he's fighting monsters. It's a science fiction thing. It's a lot of different stuff going on. And I do think that is one of the criticisms I had with it. There's so much going on sometimes that you're like, oh, I just wish you would have focused in on that character a little bit more because it was there and I'm so interested and I'm locked in on this character. And it's not enough buildup. Not enough buildup. And there's that. But like I said, enough to me going, I just walked out going, I got a smile on my face. I feel good. Superman's back. It's nice. So when are you going to see it, Kris?
Tomorrow.
Yes. Nice.
I'll be tomorrow in Burbank. If you guys see me, say hi, everybody.
Please.
I'll be with Logan.
Yeah, please. But yeah, I think that people are going to have a very fun time with this movie overall. I think that's why the audience is responding to it. It's going to make money. It's going to make a lot of money. Yeah. That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I can't do that. I can't. That go away.
Please, sure.
Please, stop that. I mean, if you didn't know what criticism is criticism, and it's like, and like I said, it is a really fun movie, and it's going to do good, and it's a well-made movie. That is not negative. That's called criticism. Go stick your head in your asshole. Now I'm being negative. So let's. I'm very curious what you guys think. What do you think? You think this movie's going to do big numbers, little numbers? Is it going to disappoint? Put your thoughts in there. What say you? I got to know. I'm really very, 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 very curious. Okay, we're going to get to a lot of different topics before you get right into it. I'm going to tell you guys. I'm telling you about Hydrow. So good. It is the workout of champions, and Factor, which also helps you stay in shape because of your good diet, because of that good workout. Here you go. The warm weather is beginning, and juggling vacations, visitors, zero routine. Hydrow brings me back to that structure so I can get it quick. I can get efficient workouts that keep me feeling grounded no matter what the calendar looks like. Hydrow to me is kind of the secret weapon for a full body workout. It's like 86% of your muscles, arms, legs, core, all of it. You knock it out in 20 minutes. Super efficient, and it actually works. So one thing that I really love about it is you don't get bored. Hydrow, it has so many workouts, got tons of workouts. Actual Olympians are telling you what to do. And they're filmed in these gorgeous outdoor spots all over the world. It makes it way easier to stay motivated. So if you're on the fence, there's free shipping, a 30-day risk-free trial. That alone is perfect. Hydrow offers a full year warranty. Honestly, there's no pressure. Try it out. See how it feels. So a lot of people getting a good sweat in used to mean hours in the gym. But with Hydrow, all at home, on my schedule, 20 minutes. On the weekend, it's the best. Rowing on my Hydrow gets me that full body workout without ever having to leave my house. So convenient. I just have it set up in my place. And I was like, okay, weekend, can I get out? What am I doing? We're busy. You know what? I have 20 minutes. Boom. In my house, convenient. Hop in the shower afterwards. I am good. So skip the gym, not the workout. Stay on track with Hydrow. For a limited time, go to hydrow.com. Use that code Kristian. Save up to $475 off of your Hydrow. That is hydrow.com. Use the code Kristian. Save up to $475. Hydrow.com. Code Kristian. All right, summer. It is here. More sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. Number one thing you don't want to do all summer, you don't want to spend hours cooking inside. Trust me, it's hot. That's where Factor comes in. Factor chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. Factor powers your day, sun up to sundown, with nutritious breakfast, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer and get Factor if you want all the flavors and none of the fuss. Absolutely love Factor. You guys know I've been talking about Factor forever because it is so good, and they give you the options that you need. If you have a particular diet that you're on, that for me is like, I'm all about the protein right now, guys. And boy, did they have just delicious stuff. I love coming back from, if it's a day at work, if it's something that I need to do, if I'm coming back from the gym, Factor has me covered. So get started at factormeals.com/Christian50off. Use that code Christian50off to get 50% off free shipping on your first box. That's code Christian50off at factormeals.com/Christian50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/Christian50off. Thank you again to that catchy music in Factor. I appreciate Factor, appreciate Hydrow. Thank you guys for supporting the show and how you do that. I told you guys so many different times. You want to support this show and you really like watching this show, you like the fact that we're on all the time, well, support us and get yourself something great. Hydrow or Factor. Both. Okay.
I've never had a better pre-made meal.
Oh, the Factors.
I've eaten everything from Hungry Man dinners.
You survived on that when you're building. Yeah, when you're building the studio, you survived on Factor.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's the best, and they're so good. I mean, that's just my own personal. I don't get anything from that, and I just want to say one thing that I also get anything for that is a sexy looking piece of workout equipment. I mean, when he's strapping it up to the wall there,
it's awesome.
Beautiful.
It's really awesome. All right, so we're gonna get to this next trip, but to let you guys know, because we're gonna let you. So Roka had a good start on Monday.
I hope it was 40.
You had a 129, right?
Oh, that's a little higher.
But then Roxy and Mike came in yesterday, right as the reactions and reviews dropped for Superman, and said, "Hold my beer, 203." They're at 203 right now. So you guys are close with 9.
Hell yeah.
We're taking lots of questions about what we thought of Superman without seeing it.
Right.
Yes.
That's going to be the main focus. You can ask me about my show that's dropping today. If
we should. And
some questions about that.
Did I get that?
That's a good idea.
I'm going to see if I got the WeTransfer yet. Still hasn't come through. Perfect.
I've seen comments already that I think people think I would have the audacity to do another review show of movies and things, which would never be anything I would think of doing.
No, that's what he's going to do. The WeTransfer still hasn't come through, bro.
Oh, brother, let's see what's going on.
So maybe just text it to me, and then I can play it for people to show them what's going on the channel. And how long? Maybe it'll go through. I don't know. It depends how long it is. Anyway, before we see Brett's new promo, tomorrow, guys, Max is going to become HBO Max again. They keep changing it back and forth. It's this, it's that. The hell is it? Should have never changed it in the first place. The Max streaming service will officially be rebranded as HBO Max starting tomorrow, which is July 9th. That's today. The name changed back to the original HBO Max name, which the service had from 2020 to 2023. It was announced on stage at Warner Brothers Discovery upfront presentation in May. Warner Brothers Discovery originally ditched the HBO part of the branding to allow for a wider inclusion of content on the services, namely the various Discovery titles. The aim was for current HBO premium shows like House of the Dragon, The Last of Us, White Lotus, and back catalog titles like The Wire, Deadwood, Game of Thrones to sit comfortably alongside Discovery's mountain of trashy reality series like Naked and Afraid, Deadliest Catch, and 90 Day Fiancé. Since then, however, the streaming bubble has burst as less shows are being greenlit overall, and the economics of streaming are much more in play. Similarly, consumers are pushing for more quality over quantity when it comes to their services. As a result, there's been a shift by focus on WB from towards the premium nature of HBO's offering while cutting back on unscripted and family programming. It comes at a quiet time for the service following a busy early 2025. Little Little is on offer this month because last week's debut of Sinners and ongoing new seasons of And Just Like That and the Gilded Age, but things pick up soon with shows like It, Welcome to Derry, and Peacemaker. What do you make of this, Chris Carr?
This is so stupid. It's just stupid. No one ever called it Max. That's why they're calling it HBO Max, because everyone kept going, oh, I'm going to watch it on HBO, or I'm going to watch it on HBO Max. No one called it Max. Max is the name of the Grinch's dog. Max is the name of Goofy's son. It is not something that I associate with streaming. It's a dumb name, and it was a dumb thing to do. And I don't understand why they keep making announcements about this name. I've loved like the James Gunn and John Cena little tidbits of this too, of like, oh, we're changing the name. Okay, who gives a shit? All right,
that's hilarious. I didn't even see that, but I think that's great.
It's great.
That's great.
It's
This
so
is
fun.
silly.
It's so confusing. It was from the beginning. I don't know what. There's so many people talked out against it when it was happening. I'm surprised they didn't just pull back. I'm surprised they went through with it. And and to just go back to what it was before, I would have just really made a big change at that point. Don't run away with your tail between your legs. Just call it something else. Call it Shabba-da-doo. Yeah,
Shabba-da-doo, Shabba-da-dee. Either one. No, I mean, look, what HBO has it's got a thing. People know it. It's like we were talking about before with Superman. It has a thing. It's like, okay, it's HBO Max. Leave it alone. You shouldn't have changed it in the first place. I think we when that announcement came out, we were like, what are they doing? It's too confusing. Oh, we want to rebrand. You don't need to. You already have enough on your platform. People know what it is, and it was during that streaming era when you're trying to just again throw spaghetti against the wall and going whatever sticks. Oh my god, here we go. It's now they know like we have our brand. Let's just go with it. Don't change it again. Leave it alone. HBO Max, that's it. I get it. You were 100% right, Chris. Nobody referred to this as Max. Is it HBO or HBO Max? No clue. Nobody's watching that other garbage anyway. They're only watching the shows that are coming. And they have great catalog for older movies. Anytime my wife and I were like, let's watch a 90s movie or an 80s movie, we go to HBO Max. We go to HBO Max first. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you guys give a crap about this story?
It's big news, Chris.
Yeah. Do you care about HBO Max? Do you think this is something that should be, talked about, or who gives a major F?
Why even keep the Max in it? Why don't you just call it HBO? I don't know.
Right. I mean, well, because at one point it was Cinemax. That's why they just bought it over.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to keep it alive a little bit, but
Skinamax, right? Remember when we were kids?
Yeah. Now Cinemax is now called the internet. That's the difference. It's hilarious that you say that though, because like that was how you got all your stuff like that back then. It was on HBO or Showtime or whatever, Emmanuel or whatever. Now it's like, what do you want? Oh, you just find it on Instagram.
Yeah, like, kids these days, they didn't have to take one of those VHSs that had where you dialed in the channels where you could make the things go away a little bit. The little
yeah, no, remember
rambling.
Yeah, I remember watching a Mike Tyson fight. I think it was Spinks, and you used to be able to do this trick where on the cable box for pay-per-view. I don't know if people remember this, and you would just rapidly push 0, and it would come in clear, and you didn't have to pay for it. You just rapidly push it, and it would just you have to watch the fight like that. But luckily enough, it was a Mike Tyson fight, so it was only around a 2-minute fight. And it's like I remember watching the whole fight. It was like playing Nintendo. You're like, all right, I got it.
Just say it's the Konami code of HBO.
Yeah, and they fixed it. Not too long after that, but that was a great.
They didn't have the technology to just not show it. They had to scramble the signal. I don't understand why that technology took so long. They had to take a signal. They're like, we can't. It's going to their house. We just got to figure out a way to scramble it.
Yes.
Well, there's no way to not send it to their house.
No. So anyway, that's that. HBO Max is back. You guys, I know I can't remember if Chris Carr, I don't remember either one. Are you guys as big of a Dune fan as I am?
No.
Okay. And then Mike is in, and Brett, did you wind up watching the second one?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It didn't blow me away. It took me a few watchings. It's a lot of remembering the names of things. I think it's something that would, if I read books, I probably would have read ahead of time to get some of those.
I think it's a I think it's a masterpiece. I think 1 and 2 together is an absolute masterpiece. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with the third one. Now, they're talking about Dune Messiah no longer being Dune Messiah. And here is that story. Dune Messiah is no longer going to be Dune Messiah. It's going to be Dune Part 3. Filmmaker Denis Villeneuve is working on his third Dune film throughout the back half of this year, with filming having just gotten underway, and now a report at Variety has revealed a few new details about the production. The biggest reveal is that the production is reportedly ditching the original book's Dune Messiah title and is instead being listed as Dune Part 3 by media research analytics company Rentrack. It's a surprise to some extent, as the work is quite different from the prior book. Villeneuve has expressly stated that this is not like the end of a trilogy, and that the film is also expected to have a different tone and look than the first 2 films, which adapted Herbert's original Dune novel. The trade also indicates that while sequences will be shot with the IMAX cameras, the film will not be entirely shot with the technology like Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, which remains the only film to date to be made that way. Reports of the new Dune to be the second film to go full IMAX originated from an interview with Max CEO Richard Gelfond on CNBC this week, where he suggested, but didn't explicitly state, it would be saying he, Denis, is making the next Dune with IMAX cameras. He's filming the whole thing. IMAX is positioning itself as a key player in the market, as recent blockbusters like Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and F1 have done over 20% of their opening weekend business on IMAX screens, despite being that 1% of the screens are available. Dune Part 3 is expected to release in cinemas on December 2026, which is, I can't believe that's coming out that soon. That's amazing. It's amazing. This makes sense to me because the reason why it makes sense to me is that Dune Messiah, although it's a book and it's the name of the book, I understand and the hardcore readers are probably like, wait a minute, hold on now. Dune, the David Lynch version, did not do very good box office. The first one, granted, it was during the pandemic and all that. It didn't have huge box office, but because of the success it did have, because of both streaming and theatrical at the same time, and the kind of praise that it got, they made the second one, which did decent numbers also. That is really where it started to become even more of a, it's a science fiction, nerds. It's like really it's what started it all. People know it, but to the average person, the average film goer, wasn't, oh, is that the thing that came out years ago in the 80s? Now they know it as the Timothée Chalamet big, huge space thing, even if you didn't like it. So to call it Dune Messiah, they're like, well, what is that? You call it Dune 3, Dune Part 1, Dune Part 2, Dune Part, yes, it's a different story, but the same characters are in it. You call it Dune Part 3 to get people going, oh, the third one's coming out. So I think it makes sense, but Kris, you feel otherwise?
No, I think it makes sense. Well, I have kind of 2 schools of thought here, because I've got some friends who this is absolutely, like you were saying, their sci-fi kind of Bible of this is the origin of everything, kind of like how I feel about Lord of the Rings and fantasy. And so for them, it's, well, 1 and 2, that makes sense for Part 1 and Part 2. That's a complete movie altogether. Dune Messiah is its own entity, but the naming convention's already been established for your more casual moviegoers who go Part 1, Part 2, oh, and now Part 3. Okay, that makes sense to me. So as somebody who's not super invested in the books, I started Dune 1 and it just wasn't my personal cup of tea. And I know that's very upsetting for some people. And when I watched the 2 movies together, I liked them better as a whole. When I first saw the first one, I went, oh, this is kind of boring. And then once I saw the second, I went, oh, okay, I can appreciate this as a whole thing together. So for me, Part 3 just goes, oh, okay, that's great. Because also when I hear people talking about Dune Messiah, a lot of people who even really enjoy these books go, hey, the Messiah book really isn't one that I enjoy. It's kind of weird. It's not exactly my favorite thing. So I'm wondering if this is also kind of a correction to tie in more of Part 1 and 2 into 3. So I'm just kind of split down the middle. I get why people are upset, but as somebody who's casually going to see Dune, this makes the most sense.
Yes. Brett, how do you feel about this as a casual movie fan? Do you care?
I think they should call it Dr. Sleep. that worked out well for that franchise.
Right.
Yeah,
Good point, though.
it makes total sense to do it as a 3. It doesn't make any sense to call it anything but. And I don't know why, you would get upset about that, but no, I do know, because I've been in this biz a long time.
You've been in the biz.
I like to get upset about things that aren't that upsetting. But yeah, the 3 all the way. I'm in the 3 camp. Yeah. And I wanted to love these. I wanted so badly to be like a Dune head, and it just, I don't know what it was.
You don't
length, or it looked amazing though. I was actually just blown away by the the worm thing, and that's what they call it, a worm thing.
It is a great science fiction movie. Both of you are crazy people.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I don't think it's our cup of tea.
You're both crazy.
I'm sorry that I think it's boring Tremors. I'm sorry.
Hey, boring Tremors. How dare you, Chris Carr?
I know that makes me just an absolute just monster. I'm basically a troglodyte, just being like, it's just kind of boring Tremors. I understand that everyone else is like, it's cinema. I know this is a fault.
I never thought that I would ever get tempted to throw you out of this room. I'm tempted to throw you out of this room. I won't do it, but I was tempted.
You told me to come back with hot takes.
Yeah,
I took that note and I ran.
I'm not doing a show with you and Mike Kalinowski then, because Brett doesn't count. Brett doesn't really even see anything. So yeah. But anyway, what do you think about these two heathens? Do you think that this is something that should be said, or do you think that Dune 3 is the right one? Should it be called Messiah? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. We got some stuff to come about Fantastic Four, but I finally got the video from Brett. Finally came through. So Brett's been working on his channel, guys. I'm excited for Brett. Brett has a new channel, and I'm going to play this video for you guys.
Hey, what's up? Hey, folks. Well, hello. Hey, this is Brett Sheridan. Welcome to Final Vinyl. What's Final Vinyl, you may ask? Final Vinyl is my first show on the Brett Sheridan channel, which was started in 2009 when YouTube was in its infancy. But why start a show then? Wait, a good almost 20 years and start one then when the whole market is saturated.
That's a good idea, Brett.
Final Vinyl is the show that I have created to adjust mics. I'm going to adjust mics over and over and over again, and that's going to be the whole show. So thanks for coming. Bye. Get this party started. Oh, hello. I did see you there. See, because people always do that. Final Vinyl. Well, it is a show where I attempt to... Can't think, what's the word I'm going for? Consolidate, purge, listen to my record collection. Being a good listener is what being a good husband is all about. Why did I look over there? Anyway, I listened to my wife. She said, you have too many albums. I'm like, all right, I agreed. You don't even listen to them. Agreed. Also agreed. You need to get rid of some. Whoa. Can't just get rid of these gems. I made all of these album purchases because they had a fun little picture on the cover or a fun band name. I can't just get rid of these things that have been collecting dust in my closet for 20 years. I need to listen to them first. So that's why I created the Final Vinyl show. You're going to be seeing a lot of this in Final Vinyl. The disco era. Why want to say error? Era was an interesting one. What about this one? This one's called Snappy Khaki. Oh man, can you believe when I did that? What about this one down here? You can hear the oldness. Can't you? Can't you hear the oldness of this album? Yeah, a lot of fun like that, and a lot of discovery of music. And once I get rid of these, I'm not going to just throw them in the trash. That would be wasteful. I'm going to put them up for grabs. Yeah, you can purchase it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But if you do, then you will. And if you don't, then you won't. Snappy Khaki. Anyway, come join me. It's going to be fun.
Well, there you go. Brett Sheridan. what do they do, Brett? They go to just the Brett Sheridan channel?
Yeah, Brett Sheridan channel. I'm pretty happy. I got like the 300 in the last couple of days. Yeah, 300 subscribers.
Let's get Brett to 500 subscribers by today.
Let's do it.
Get him by today. Let's do it. Let's get Brett to 500 subscribers. Head on over there. Check out his channel. And yeah, he's dropping the first episode tomorrow, right?
Yep. The intro comes out today. The one thing you just saw. So go give that some love, and then dropping the first episode tomorrow.
Great.
And then Fridays, 45 Fridays.
Perfect. And Kris, your channel is kicking butt too right now. What's going on in the Kris Carr channel?
Oh, so we are over on just Two Filthy Casuals is what we're doing right now. I'm still working on building up my own. Hopefully I'll get some stuff going. But if you go over to Two Filthy Casuals pod, that's where me and Amy Newman always have a super fan come on and we talk about their fandom, because we just think that all the gatekeeping that happens can be pretty counterintuitive to what fandom's about. It should be about sharing what you enjoy and getting other people to get excited about it too. And so we have someone come on, they talk about why they love something, and you guys get to ask your questions too, so you can dip your toe in sans judgment. There's never a dumb question, just us dumb hosts.
I love that. And you guys should go and check that out. And speaking of which, guys, we are just around 400 subscribers away from hitting 200,000 subscribers on this channel. So we hope that you guys will, if you haven't already, if you're not subscribed to this, that you will. If you're watching on a Clips channel, then you subscribe to the Clips channel too, by the way. That's almost at 12,000. So there you go. All right.
I remember the road to like 50.
I know.
It was like
I know.
50,000.
I know. It's been a nice couple of years.
Nice.
So I'm excited people are here, and we have over I think, how many members do we have now? We've got I think 500 members. It's like things is good. Things is good. Well, will things be good for the Fantastic Four? Seems like it. If you believe in the hype. The hype train is starting for the Fantastic Four. So let's see what they say. Right now, it looks like the Fantastic Four, the first steps to preview reactions, are hailing it as the best MCU movie since Avengers Endgame. Fans and critics in Brazil were recently treated to a 30-minute preview of the Fantastic Four first steps, and some early reactions are calling it the next MCU movie, and it's the best one since Avengers Endgame. The cast of the Fantastic Four First Steps have been touring the globe, and fans and critics in Brazil were recently treated to a 30-minute preview comprised of scenes from the first and second acts. It was intended to give viewers a taste of what to expect from the MCU. So, to be clear, it's not the full thing. However, some early reactions have started doing the rounds on social media, and they're overwhelmingly positive. MP Morales called filmmaker Matt Shakman's world building incredible and declared what they've been shown a cool introduction to the quartet, their powers, and the looming threat of Silver Surfer. Another ex-user, Good Nerd 23, said the Fantastic Four First Steps might be the best Marvel movie post-Endgame. Feels a lot like The Incredibles. It's super fun, it's colorful, and different from other Marvel films. The Silver Surfer steals the show. Fan account for Fantastico BRA also posted a lengthy breakdown of what he saw. Here are some of the highlights. What was shown not only surprised me, it genuinely moved me. The entire setting of this universe is unique. It's a great gift for the fans. It all starts with an intimacy we're not used to seeing in this type of movie. It feels like we're meeting a real family with vulnerabilities, humor, affection, and purpose. The dynamic between Reed and Sue is one of the highlights. We saw many scenes of the two together, and Vanessa and Pedro are in perfect sync, truly conveying the feeling of a couple that's been together for a long time. The relationship shows right from the start that this movie goes far beyond just showcasing superpowers. Ben and Johnny also shine. Each has a very well-defined personality, and the chemistry between them works from the first moment. Jokes come at the right time, and you know how it is, Johnny being Johnny. Plot is a family-oriented tone, and this becomes clear with the arrival of Baby Franklin. Pure Fantastic Four. They're not just facing a major threat. Family bonds are at the heart of the story. Final sequence of the preview I watched is one of those that makes the entire room hold its breath. The CGI is flawless, and the buildup of danger feels real. You sense the weight of what's at stake. This hopefully bodes well for the Fantastic Four First Steps, as these reviews are glowing and not dissimilar to those for Superman's 30-minute preview last month. Marvel Studios delivered a dud with Captain America Brave New World earlier this year. Thunderbolts, meanwhile, was a critical hit, but struggled to attract an audience and looks set to end its run at the global box office with less than $400 million. Fantastic Four First Steps needs to be a hit, especially as it will lead directly into Avengers Doomsday next December. Spider-Man: Brand New Day is still scheduled to be released before then, but it's a co-production with Sony Pictures, meaning that Disney and Marvel get a much smaller percentage of the profits. Okay, that was a lot in there. This is, I'm kind of torn on this one, Kris, because the first part of it is, it's only half an hour. Like,
Yeah.
right? It's a half an hour, so it's like, look, but on the flip side, there's still, it seems like there's a lot of people who saying essentially like the same thing. It's set up well. It's a good dynamic. You're feeling it. But we've seen movies that are really good in the beginning and then have been like, but then the middle just kind of like, it's the same old thing and it gets tired and the script kind of falls apart. You see that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's hard to just say this is the best movie since Endgame. It's only these are 30 minutes of it.
Yeah.
But it's encouraging that what they did see, they felt was they want to see more. That's more to me. The story is that they're just like, oh, I can't wait to see where this goes.
I think that's absolutely it. And I want to be optimistic about this film. Everything that people are saying are the things I hope are what's delivered in this movie. But what comes to mind when we have early reactions or the 30-minute release is I go back to Buzz Lightyear at CinemaCon. And in that 30 minutes thinking, I just saw one of the best animated films of my life. This was so incredible. I can't wait to watch more. And then I saw the rest of that film and went, oh, okay. Well, we went a little different than what I thought.
Right.
And I didn't have as jarring a reaction as everyone else, but it was a letdown. And usually when we have these early reactions, people are super hyped. They're excited. They're at a big fan event with other fans, or they're at a sneak preview and they're getting all hyped about everything. So we're usually put in a position to be so excited about that movie. So while I hope this is all true, I'm just going to take it with a grain of salt and go, well, we have really high expectations. Everything has been at that litmus of, is it better than Endgame? Honestly, most movies aren't going to be. They had a decade to build up to that. Yeah. And so it's always such an unfair comparison too. I hope it's really great. I hope I see this and go, wow, this is one of the most exciting MCU movies I've ever seen. But I'm going to go into it as cautiously optimistic as I can allow myself to be, so I also don't disappoint myself with an expectation.
More than fair. I think that you can say, look, every one of them could be absolutely correct, that those first 30 minutes are just out of control. But the question is, what comes after that one? What's the rest? What's the next hour and a half like? That's exactly going to be the question. Now, what I will say is, Brett, did you watch WandaVision?
Oh yeah.
So this is the director of that. That excites me. That excites me. See what Shankman's going to do with this.
Oh yeah.
That excites me. I'm actually, and I like, because I think John Watts was originally supposed to do this movie, and I like John Watts a lot. But I think this is a better choice, because I think Shankman takes a little bit more risks. And again, I like Watts. I like Watts a lot. Watts takes some risks, but I think that for some reason Shankman just seems a little bit more punk rock. I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but it could be absolutely wrong. But he feels like he's just going to take more shots at it. But do you care at all about the Fantastic Four? But as someone who's not following the MCU that much right now, do you give it 5 shits?
Oh no, I do. Because we watched the trailer for it like when I first came back to doing the old Kristian Harloff Show, and I really thought it looked super cool. I just don't think you should ever make a statement that says something's going to be bigger than Endgame until it actually becomes bigger than Endgame. Then you can say that was bigger than Endgame. But I think that's a very, very bold statement. But as far as excitement, I am more excited about this one actually than I am of Superman.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's but you know, there's Marvel fans, there's DC fans.
Yeah.
And not that you can't be both, but where you get more anticipated for one or the other, right? And Marvel has been essentially, you know, the Yankees for a long time. So there are a lot of fans that want to see where they're going to go, and plus they're rooting for Marvel to get back on track. And what better to do than the first family of kind of comic books? And so, you know, in order to do that, especially since Kevin Feige has been waiting to do this movie and since they got the rights back, I watched Mallrats. Finished watching Mallrats with my oldest. She had never seen it before, and she wanted to see it and watch it. She loved it, but I forget that scene with Stan Lee is just so good. It's just so good, and he looks so healthy.
Oh yeah,
geez. 95. He looks so good. But he was talking when he's sitting there talking to Brody, and he's telling him all these different things, and you're like, you wouldn't even had known what was coming, because that was like 95. It wasn't the explosion that it was. I guess X-Men X-Men Blade kind of really started off 3-4 years later, 3 to 5 years later. But then the MCU was a long time away. It was like 14 years away from that movie, whatever it was. So or even more than that, right? No, it was like 14 years. I guess because when I remember it come out, 2009, 2008. I just forget. I think it was 2008.
Sure.
I think it was 2008. It came out in 2008. So, and Mallrats was 95. But anyway, just thinking about that, and I guess they talk about just everything that they accomplished and all those characters, how important Fantastic Four was to the start of Marvel in general, and how important, ironically, that they could be now when they really need a win, like a big win, not like we broke even win. They need a win, because if, Kris, the Fantastic Four does pull off, let's say they pull off a $200 million weekend and Superman does 150, it doesn't mean Superman loses. It just means that Fantastic Four delivers.
Exactly. Well, and this is what a good time to be a superhero fan. What a good time to be a comic book fan.
Right.
Like both of them, I would love for both of them to do well. I would love that so much. And I think that'd be great. Marvel does need a bit more of that financial win right now, because we did get the critical win, like you brought up, right? With the Thunderbolts. People enjoyed that movie. Unfortunately, people just didn't go to see that. And part of that is the mix of maybe there's the mediocrity fatigue of, I'm just going to wait to see that on streaming. And also just how we're programmed to watch movies now. I'll just catch it when it's on streaming. It'll be on Disney Plus, no worries.
Right.
So this just needs to do well enough to get people to go, oh, I want to see that in a theater. And hopefully these early reviews talking about how incredible the visuals are, how flawless the CGI supposedly is, gets people to go see it in theaters as opposed to just waiting till it's dumped on streaming, because that's what they really need. Is they need spectacle. They need people to get back in theaters for Marvel.
Yeah, you want to care, right? You really I'll tell you what, as much and I'm not going to get into the whole thing again, but like there was rumors as far as why Pedro Pascal was cast. Now, if those rumors are true, I've said it many times over, I think that's a bad choice. But if they cast him because he went in and said this is the right guy to play Reed, I will tell you that it was the right call to cast Pedro Pascal, because as I talked about in general with the mainstream audience, the guy is huge right now. He's with Last of Us and everything else he's going on. He's in Gladiator. He's in all these different things and all these movies that people like, and outside of just the science fiction world, you push him out there he does smaller films. He is one of the it guys right now. So, and you can say, well, he's in everything. Yeah, but you put him in a movie where you get people to go, who's in that? Oh, Pedro Pascal's in it. Oh, yeah, I like that guy. I'll go see it. You need that right now. For this movie, you need that right now. So I think overall it was a good choice to put him in the movie. But we'll see. We'll see how the film is going to do. We'll see if it's as good as Endgame. I always agree with Brett. I think sometimes, and look, it was a fan that said that. You can't tell the fan not to say that. But I think to trust it right away, let's go see the movie. What say you guys? You think this movie's going to be pretty good? Or is this early hype and take it easy? It's a half an hour of the movie. Or is it pretty encouraging that people are loving this first half an hour and saying how good it is? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. I'm going to jump back to Superman. I'm going to jump back to Superman and jump back to the DC. James Gunn's Superman is now the best reviewed DC movie since The Suicide Squad, which came out in 2021. Dethroning the previous James Gunn. That's crazy. The DC movie in general? Oh, since The Suicide Squad. Not ever. Since. Because I say there's no way they beat The Dark Knight. Okay, since The Suicide Squad. Okay, so reviews for Superman have been counted, and with 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, a certified fresh DCU movie is now the best reviewed DC Comics adaptation since James Gunn's The Suicide Squad in 2021. So 4 years later, they have a pretty high rated movie here. The review embargo for Superman lifted yesterday, 86% tomato score based on 151 reviews. It's fair to say this is a suitably strong start for the James Gunn DCU. A $230 million debut at the global box office bodes well for Superman's chances of long-term financial success. However, it will still need to contend with strong competition from Jurassic World Rebirth, the Fantastic Four First Steps, and general superhero fatigue. We don't know how much Superman needs to break even, but anything over $500 million will be likely considered a win by DC Studios. DC hasn't produced a bona fide hit since 2022's The Batman, so good reviews and a better box office performance than the likes of Black Adam and The Flash are bound to make Warner Brothers Discovery executives happy. It's worth pointing out that Superman is the best reviewed DC movie since The Suicide Squad, another DC Comics adaptation held by Gunn. That has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes and was followed by The Batman, Black Adam, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So right now, The Batman could essentially still dethrone Superman, by the way, if a few more people come in and give it a negative review. However, if a few more people get it to 90%, it could tie. So who the hell knows? Shazam, Fury of the Gods at 49%, The Flash at 63%, Blue Beetle at 78%, Aquaman and Lost Kingdom 33%, and Joker Folly to Deal with a generous 31%. According to Superman's critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, pulling off the heroic feat of fleshing out a new dynamic, new world by putting its champion Big Beating Heart front and center, the Superman flies high as a man of tomorrow grounded in the here and now. It's a terrific start for Superman ahead of its release this weekend and bodes well for the type of positive word of mouth that will make or break the DCU's movie chances of being a box office hit in a month with a lot of strong competition. Okay, so the most important thing for this film in general is next week. It's not this week. This week's big, obviously, with the opening weekend. And I do think that Jurassic World will take a little bit of its international box office. I don't think it's going to have it's going to hurt too much in the domestic. I think people who really wanted to see Jurassic World domestically here have. They're not going to be rushing out to see it in week 2, and that movie's not going to be a word of mouth movie at all. But internationally, still, dinosaurs are universal, and so that we will see how that's going to play. But I think as far as this movie, week 2 is so important because you got to have a strong. You can't have more than a 45% drop in week 2 because Fantastic Four, especially if it's as good as Endgame, as the people in Brazil are saying, then that movie is going to take that is the same audience. That movie is going to take a significant chunk out of your domestic and your international. So the fact that it's this high rated, and as I mentioned, because there's only 1% before Batman, and I guess there's still more critics that could see it and add to it. It could go higher, could go lower, but this is a good sign in general. The buzz behind it. If you're DC and you're David Zoloff, as I like to call him, you're probably happy, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I genuinely forgot how poorly received so many of these movies were. Looking at those Rotten Tomatoes percentages was woof. So he has to be thrilled. All of Warner Brothers has to be thrilled to have a positive response so far. And yeah, that number is going to fluctuate once more and more people are reviewing things, can see it and talk about it. I think this is something they should be very excited about, though, especially because so much of the DCU prior to this one was confusing to your average moviegoer of, do these movies matter? Do I need to see this? Do I have to see some other thing? What's even going on with this? This is a really great strong start for your new universe to go, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're doing. This is the tone that we're setting. And this is what you can kind of expect from us while still dabbling in other kind of genres within this universe, doing what they're doing with Lanterns and Supergirl and all of that. So I think it's a really great debut and a number they should be really happy with. And genuinely, as long as we don't dip below a Black Adam, I think they should be pretty happy.
I think so, and I think that but Black Adam just made so many mistakes that there's no world where Black Adam should have cost what it costs. It's just
that movie. I wanted so badly to like that, and it was just I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to cling to something. Pierce Brosnan, can you show up more?
I know. I like that movie more than most people do, but it's not one of those movies where I'm gonna like. It's not like Dune, where I tell you guys you're out of your minds for not liking it.
When I agree with you that we probably are, like I should like this movie. Why don't I?
It's one of the, but Black Adam though, when you say that movie's terrible, I am not going to fight you on that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fight you on. I remember watching it, going, "Why am I enjoying this so much?" And you know what it is? I'm a music junkie, and I love the music in that movie. I love it, and watching that movie, and I, but no means am I going to go, "What are you talking about? It's a good movie." It is not, but that's one of those movies that what's a bad movie that you enjoy watching? That's the movie. I don't mind watching that movie. But there's no world where it should have cost what it cost. Ridiculous. And I use it as an example all the time. If that movie costs 80 to 90 million, it makes a profit, but it didn't. And so it lost. But either way, yes, Superman needs to make a lot of money in order to break even, but the difference between that and Black Adam is there's a lot of hype behind this one. And I don't mean the hype. Well, there's a lot of hype on Black Adam and Superman. They're not for one post-credit scene. I'm talking about the actual movie itself and what it could mean. This
people know who Superman is.
Right. This opening
Most
weekend,
people
though,
don't know that.
this opening weekend is going to be the big story. It really is. On Capes and Cowls on Friday, we're going to be discussing, we won't be doing spoilers yet, but we're going to be talking about obviously what the movie already made, because I think Thursday night previews will already they'll have the numbers on it. So we'll be talking about that. We'll have a kind of a genuine general idea of what it's going to look like over the 3-day weekend at least. But yeah, if you're Warner Brothers with the reviews and everything else too, you got to win. You got to win. Critics seem to like it. Majority of fans seem to like it. You seem to be, and it seems like, your pre-sales are doing good. So you got to be happy. You got to be happy. What do you guys think about this? Do you think it means anything that we have, this highest review since the Suicide Squad? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. Okay. Last story before we get to the questions. Let's talk about this. We got a couple coming from Dark Horizons here. G.I. Joe, National Treasure 3, Prada 2. These are some of these stories that I'm curious about. Couple of film sequel updates. First up, Henry Golding says he doesn't expect he'll be asked back to reprise his role of Snake Eyes for the new Derek Connolly penned G.I. Joe Transformers crossover film in the works at Paramount Pictures. Speaking with comicbook.com while promoting the Old Guard 2, Golding says, I know there's stuff happening. There's rumors of Transformers and Snake Eyes. I don't know if they'll just skip out our G.I. Joe and go back to the original G.I. Joe. Like, who knows? I think we had a rough run on that one. Next, Daniel RPK is reporting that Chris Brenner, Bad Boys for Life, is penning a new draft of a script for Third National Treasure. Bremer has been attached to the project for years, basically during the early days of the pandemic, but the scooper indicates that there's some heat under production again with the new draft getting the go-ahead. Final word comes from Variety that Lucy Liu, Justin Theroux, BJ Novak, Pauline Chalamet? Who's that? Who is that? Who's Pauline Chalamet? Is that his sister?
Yeah.
For real?
His mom. No.
His mom? Comedian Caleb Haran, along with Broadway players Helen J. Shen and Conrad Ricamora, have all joined the cast of The Devil Wears Prada sequel. They join fellow returnees Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, Trace Thomas, and Tibor Feldman, as along with the newly cast Kenneth Branagh and Simone Ashley in the project, which is currently in production ahead of a May 1st, 2026 opening. I think a Devil Wears Prada sequel is a smart move. Again, how much is your budget for that movie? Don't overspend on that. Give people points. Don't overspend. You want Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway to come back there. Anne Hathaway is a bigger star now than she was back then. I get it. Give her points. Do not overspend on that movie, and you will make money. Speaking of Devil Wears Prada, smart move, Kris. Should I take a shot with this one?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is prime for a sequel. People love this movie. They quote this movie all the time. The Superman marketing used one of the bits from this movie. So, no, that was Princess Diaries. Oh, shit. Wrong one. So okay. I'm getting all my Anne Hathaways mixed up. But I do think it's smart to do this. I think it's a really good move. One of the things I'm concerned with is how do you make this interesting enough for Tucci to want to not be in Italy or not be eating around the world? That's who I feel is the holdout for this kind of movie. How much money do you have to throw at him?
I'm very curious to see how they're going to do this. I really, I think they could probably get him to do it if they it's depending on scheduling. Like, hey, listen, you come in for a couple of weeks, do whatever you need to do, but it's possible. But Brett,
I was just looking up Pauline Chalamet. I'm just trying to figure out.
My favorite comment.
That's his sister.
This is my favorite comment of the day. Pauline Chalamet is Timothy Chalamet's Tootsie alias. When he can't get those roles he really wants, then turns into Pauline Drag. That's my favorite comment of the day.
That's brilliant.
Thank you, Ish. Thank you.
Yeah, Pauline's his sister.
Is it for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It makes sense. I mean, there's not a lot of it's Chalamet's not like Smith.
It's not. It doesn't say in her bio, so she must be keeping that, kind of. Maybe I'm not looking at it correctly.
It's fine.
Or I also double checked Wikipedia, so I could also be talking out of my ass, you guys. So
I'll say something controversial here as far as G.I. Joe goes, and so be it. So this is one of those rare things that for me. Look, I was a big G.I. Joe Marvel fan. The comics. Probably my favorite comic book of all time was the G.I. Joe Marvel. If you also have seen the movie, it was Bloodsport. So Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, the story of Frank Dukes. is that he was
Several other times I've seen it.
It's the best. And Frank Dukes was basically taught he was a white guy who learned this martial art that he wasn't supposed to learn. He wasn't supposed to learn it, and he learned from his Asian family that taught him how to do it. And then, you know, the son died and his dad taught him how to do it. And that was the story. That was essentially the story of Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes was a Vietnam War vet who had his face blown off and learned the Asian culture. He learned this stuff. So when they cast Henry Golding, I didn't think it worked. I like Henry Golding, by the way. I think he's a great actor. I didn't even see the movie, but it doesn't work for the character. Where like there's sometimes like it doesn't matter. Like the Little Mermaid, it's a mermaid. And mermaid can be anybody. But that was, to me, didn't make sense because of what the essence of what he was doing. He was in this war, face gets blown off. He has to learn. Storm Shadow is like it's like the back and forth of that relationship. And I wonder if they're going to go more towards that in this version. I don't think that they will, because I don't think they understand it over there. I think that Lorenzo de Bonaventura is a very nice person. I've actually met him 2 or 3 times, and he's a very nice person. But he doesn't get G.I. Joe. He doesn't get Transformers. He doesn't, I mean, they brought back Michael Bay because they're desperate at this point, and they just want to try to make money on this thing because they can't make money on the franchise they were making. And he's going to just make the pure stupid spectacle that he did before. And it's going to be a fart piece that John Roca's going to go, hey! So I am, I want to see a G.I. Joe series based off the Marvel comic and get rid of this nonsense. So
that's fun.
Anyway, yeah, but what do you think, Kris? Do you think it really matters? Because you're not really attached to G.I. Joe, I don't think.
I'm not. I watched the cartoons as a kid. We also had a really weird Christmas where my uncle thought that he bought G.I. Joes for my brother, and they were all G.I. Janes, and we did not realize that until the fatigues got changed, and my brother was like, "Why does my soldier have boobs?" So that's kind of my memory of G.I. Joe. Right. But I do think you have a lot of opportunity to do something with a lot of those characters, because it does walk that line of, you know, military intelligence and espionage and some stuff, and then doing some wacky comic booky kind of things. You can kind of do both worlds, like Transformers does often. Right. I will admit, though, those kind of movies, I do like a Michael Bay, let's just explode stuff as if it's all made like with balsa wood and sparklers. I have a real soft spot for that kind of carnage and just dumb fun. That's fair.
That's fair. What do you feel about this, Brett?
Oh man, this is my biggest joy of the year is thinking about
this G.I. Joe, right?
G.I. Joe.
You like it as a kid, though?
Oh, I loved it. I'm with Kris. I watched the cartoon all the time, and I do think that as far as like a film that it needs to blow a lot of stuff up. I think that's what G.I. Joe's should be all about. I don't know,
but it wasn't in the comic. There was so much. The comic was so detailed.
Well, they do need to have like morality pieces, like the ones we watch where they bastardize them online.
That was the best. I just showed. You know what?
Hey man, what are you doing over there?
Yeah, somewhere I did a reaction. I have it on. I should have. I hope I didn't delete it. I had Sam react to those G.I. Joe things too, because Winston and I had Coy do it, and it was hilarious. But like Sam had never seen it, where she laughed her freaking ass. All right, that's it for the stories. What do you guys make of this past thing we just talked about? G.I. Joe, Devil Wears Prada. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. It's time for the questions. So, like I said yesterday, 202, I believe, is the number we're trying to catch with Roxy and Mike. Capes and Cowls guys are right around the corner. Steph's here, trying to give it a shot tomorrow. So can Kris and Brett, can they come back? 33 at the moment. 33. They got to have a big hour here. Can we do it? Let's see. Boom or bust. Your enjoyment of Superman will mirror your enjoyment of Gunn in the trailers. I don't like Gunn's work, so this landed like all of his other movies. Man, I think that's more than fair. If you're not a Gunn fan in general, then it's like, are you going to do something different here? I mean, he does put a lot of the Gunn spin on it. And I'm going to fully say there's sometimes that jokes like just didn't land. There's some jokes that just like, it's like, it was consistent. Like I said, from the beginning of what they're trying to do, but there are sometimes I'm like, that wasn't funny. And there's other time. And I don't want to ruin. I don't want to spoil anything yet because John Roque and I probably have a full spoiler discussion on Monday. So definitely be ready for that one. That's going to be an interesting conversation to say the least. But yeah, I understand. I think Boomer Bust is. I can get where he's going from there. New member, Jordan Melanie. Thank you. We get so many new members. And what a way to do it. PLD.
That's what Kris and I do. We bring in new members. These other people have like questions, but we bring in new members.
Yes. Well, PLD has been asking and saying, when are we setting up those live streams? And now we have to do that. So there we go. Mike K. Finally get to catch one of these live. Thank you, Mike. One more day until I see Superman. How many times do you guys plan to see it in theaters? I'm probably only going to see it once, to be honest. I'll wait and see it. We'll do a reaction with either myself, Sam, or Tina to do it. But I'm probably only going to see it once. How about you guys? Or Kris? Well, I guess, Kris, it depends on how much you like it tonight, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing it tomorrow, but then also my podcast partner, Amy, she's out of town. And so she wants to see it with me. The episode we have going out this week, too, is me explaining like what crypto is to her and stuff like that. Because she is very much not in tune with comic book movies, usually not a fan of them. And so I want to go see it with her now that I finally have A-list so we can go together.
I want to know what she thinks of it because, like I said earlier, too, my prediction is, and I hope I'm wrong about this. My prediction is that she's not going to dig it because she's not. Because I think you're going to love it. I think because a comic book fan, you said she doesn't really like comic book movies. This is the definition of a comic book movie. This is pure comic book movie. So I think, maybe we'll see if I'm right. But that's you're going to see it with her next week.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. So I just want to make sure because sometimes for some reason the super chats don't register everybody. So I wanted to see if they registered everybody. And that is, let's see.
Yeah, that's the issue we're having usually. I think that it always glitches when we're on the show.
Yes, it usually that's exactly what it is, bro.
You're somehow getting pushed to the other.
We did miss one.
It's rigged.
But, did we miss one? Let's see. Yes. I walked into Superman. This is from Cool Cash CG. It says, I walked into Superman last night, hyped and excited and ready to be blown away. And I walked out beyond disappointed. And the little boy in me is crying. Look, you're seeing mixed reviews there from people too. So Cool Cash didn't like it. So I'm sorry, Cool Cash. But I wonder if we're going to see more people like that, or we're going to see more people who are pumped. Mike K. By the way, Kristian, do you plan to react to K-pop Demon Hunters in the near future? The answer to that is yes. So Matt Serra's reaction of it is coming out tomorrow on his channel.
Oh, nice.
Which will be great to see. But I was going to do it by myself, and A, couldn't find the time, and B, I might just do it when Tina gets back. Tina's out of town. I think she's getting back soon. I might just watch it with her. So it might be the next one that Tina and I watch together. And whether or not people still care at that point, but we shall see. And you loved it, Kris.
Oh, I've seen it like 5 times now at this point. I'm a little freak.
I gotta check it out. Wicked Art. My dad introduced me to Superman with the original Christopher Reeves. Everyone always does that. Christopher Reeve film. So I'm returning the favor. It's George Reeves and Christopher Reeve. People always mix it up. So I'm returning the favor and taking him to see the movie on Tuesday. Excited. What an idiot! What an asshole I am, by the way. This guy is doing a really nice thing about his dad, and he wants to go see what his
talk
dad.
about his dad.
And did your dad ever teach you how to spell?
Did your dad teach you the right name? Didn't your dad take you to see Christopher Reeve? Thanks for doing all that free artwork on our comics for us.
If you've done any research, you'd know that.
You know it. Most loyal guy on the damn channel, and I'm telling you, actually, it's Reeve. Next thing you know, next time he draws me on Capes and Cows, I'm going to have a big pair of balls on my head. Rightfully so. But that's amazing, Wicked Art. I'm glad that you're seeing me get to know.
It's a very
very nice moment.
Yeah,
it's a very nice moment.
Never make that mistake again.
Yeah. Ever. What a dumb comment. So someone thought I was tiptoeing. About what? How do you tiptoe about being? I'd give you my honest thoughts. Sniff farts. Tim, will the hype from Soups for comic book movies carry over to Fantastic Four? Potentially. I mean, again, it's just it's a matter of, are people excited about it? It looks like people are kind of pumped. I mean, Kris, the pre-sales for Fantastic Four have been decent, right?
I think so. It hasn't been anything
Sure.
like super overwhelming. If you go check
Right.
to make your reservation now, you obviously can still find stuff, which
Right.
I did find getting Superman seats was a little more difficult.
Oh,
But that was
okay.
also just with me looking at my local theaters. That could be different.
Yes. No. And it's the movie coming out first, so maybe Fantastic Four
Exactly.
starts to pick up after people see Superman. So it's
Yeah.
interesting. It could. But Tim, the answer is yeah. It could help. It could. Mike K, I would highly recommend watching My Adventures with Superman, especially if you like Gunn's take on the character. You're familiar with this one, Kris?
Oh yeah, it's so fun. It is this kind of anime inspired animated cartoon that you can watch on HBO. It's so precious. It's really great, and it has such a lovely version of Clark and Lois and Jimmy on there. It's really fun.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, it is definitely this movie did feel like an animated series kind of come to life. It did. It felt like an animated series come to life. And I think that's why I think there's some people that aren't going to respond to it. I felt like a kid kind of watching, a Saturday morning cartoon that I enjoyed watching. Corn Emperor, I can't wait to watch Superman tomorrow night. Enjoy it. Corn, come back and tell us what you think, especially on the spoiler discussion on Monday. I'm very excited to see what people are going to say about that. It's going to be a lot. Okay. So, hey, Luke, can you do me a favor? Can you drop Brett's YouTube link in the actual description or in the description for sure, but in the actual chats too, in case people didn't have it already?
I don't think I have a link yet.
You don't have a link for your channel?
No, for the channel. Yeah.
You can put it in there too, Brett.
Yeah, I'm not in the. I don't go in.
I like that. I like that.
I listen to my boss.
I like that. Go pal. Brett, what tapes did you have in your car in high school? I had Metallica Black Album and STP's Core Purple. I definitely had those. I also used to have the stereo system. I would make mix things where I would be able to loop over songs and do all these things. And there was a lot of old school hip hop stuff too.
I was not too pleased with this at the time, but I look back and I should have appreciated it more. I had a 1972 Chevelle Super Sport muscle car, and I was not allowed to put anything other than the AM radio that was in it. So I did not have any tapes. I listened to AM radio and drove a muscle car that, later on, I wish I had this car still because it was pretty rad, but yeah. No tapes in that car, baby. Just, farm reports.
Kris is younger than us, so I don't even know. Did you have tapes or CDs?
No, I had CDs, and that was like the most romantic thing a dude could do for you was make you a CD that he downloaded everything from Kazaa illegally for you. Oh, swoon.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're definitely younger than us. But Corn Emperor, shout out to Winston A. Marshall in the chat for calming down Roca and reading that to us on Spill the Tequila. If you know, you know. Follow the Swaggy Bird. Well, definitely. Winston is in there too. He's in the chat.
Even when he's not on the show, he gets a question. Even when he's not here, man, that's a deep love.
Well, but look, it goes to your total. So 46.
That's true.
47 actually at the moment. Where one of them wasn't registered.
Ask him more questions.
Yes, congratulate. Ask Winston about
Winston questions.
Yeah, about almost 200 more questions. 180 questions. Simon Section, congratulations to Keith David getting his star in the Walk of Fame. I saw his reaction to it. It was amazing. Well deserved. Although he was completely wasted in Roadhouse, he was there bartending after he left that mess from Antarctica. He was in Roadhouse. That's right. I actually had a chance to meet him. I met him when Roddy Piper passed away. We did a thing at the Comedy Store for Roddy, and he was there. And it was because showing his respect from They Live. They were I think they were pretty tight still, but that was nice. That was a nice moment to see him. But great guy, very very well deserved. I still love that fight scene, the longest fight scene in history with They Live. So good. Okay, thank you, Simon Section. Next one here is GoPal. HBO Max is because there was HBO Go and HBO Now and whatever else. And interesting because they didn't actually bring in all the Cinemax content. But it's still so bizarre. Just it seems like a lot of sludge.
The messiest streaming platforms ever.
C. Michael T. became a new YouTube member. Thank you, Michael T. Love it. 49 on the clock for these two. Boom. Can they get their much deserved win? Let's see it. Come on, what a story it would be if they beat Roxy and Mike. Roxy and Mike left this chat yesterday looking like they hung it up. They're looking, nobody can touch us. Let's see. Gopal. I still wonder how far Dune 3 is going to stray away from Messiah with the changes he already made. Paul and Shani relationship and Elliot being the same age as Paul. I think they're going to have to change some stuff up because from what I hear, I don't read the book. And Gopal, you know better than I did. And Kris, did you even read the Dune books? Okay, so it was just Dune 1, the movie. It wasn't for you in general, so you had no reference. Because Dune 3, Messiah is supposed to be a really bizarre, weird book.
Yeah, well, John Campea is a huge fan of these books. He loves these books, and even he was like, Messiah's not good. So
right.
I'm also a little I'm even less excited because the diehards I know aren't super into it.
Most people, that was the difference, and you said it beforehand, which I agree with you. Dune 1 and 2 aren't two separate stories. It's one big story. It's one movie. It just happens to be part 1 and part 2, but it's one big movie. You can't make a 4.5-hour movie, 5-hour movie, so you made 2 movies, which was understandable. But it's one movie. This is a completely different movie. It's a different story. I think you got to change things. If it's weird and too strange and it's not going to play, because that's why I didn't like the Lynch version. It was too freaking weird for me. It was too bizarre. It was too wacky. I didn't like it. And then it was Mark Riley who said, dude, if you really read the book on what Frank Herbert did, like if Denis Villeneuve does that, it's going to transfer. And it did for me. And I don't know if that's going to work on a weird Messiah book. Gopal also says, in my opinion, anyone who finished Dune should be into Messiah and children. God Emperor is where it goes really weird. Okay. Well, there he goes. He follows up what I just said, what I just asked. Tom talks to, why am I in the mood for a hot dog, by the way? Just got a craving for a hot dog with mustard and relish.
Oh, please.
I don't know why.
Send one over. Send one in the chat.
Well, you can have one in a couple of weeks when we'll go to the city. Ooh. Oh, by the way, Brett, when you get here, there might be a screening for Naked Gun.
Yes, please.
Yes. Have you seen the trailer?
Not yet. No.
Oh my God, you have to watch the trailer.
It's so fun.
It is the both trailers, but the longer trailer. It's you got to watch it. It looks really, really funny, and that's a movie that we'd have to do an out of the theater together. Right?
Oh yeah.
Tom Talks Films. What's going on with Avatar 3? It's 6 months away. I've seen nothing since D23 last year. Avatar 2's trailer came out 9 months before its release. Maybe this is controversial. I think it's a very smart move. Wait, let Fantastic Four. You probably see trailers for it before Fantastic Four, by the way, but let Fantastic Four and Superman dominate everybody's interest. And then what's the next big, huge movie, like big blockbuster movie after Fantastic Four? Right? Like,
yeah.
Like I'm going to go through the list and we'll let's do it.
Yeah, I got it all. It's all in here. You go ahead and you try to keep up.
Let's see. So in October, nothing. Mortal Kombat 2. I'm looking at the really big ones. Predator Badlands, November 7th. No. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. No. Wicked's a big one. That's a big movie. That's a big movie. Zootopia 2, but it's a different audience. Wicked. And then in December, Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, a lot of people will go see it for sure. But the next big blockbuster, huge kind of potential $1 billion movie is Avatar. That's in December. So you wait. But Kris, do you agree, disagree?
No, that sounds about right to me. I'm trying to rack my brain about, is there really something else that's a huge tentpole film?
No, that was it. Tentpole wise, anything that could have the potential to hit that 700,000 to 1 billion. That the only one that I mean, Wicked would probably get close, but I think that, that's not, you're not going up against it yet. It's not out until October, November. So you start posting that, or I think August. I think you'll see a trailer for Avatar in August.
Yeah. I think we've gotten kind of conditioned to get marketing way too early. Mm-hmm. And I mean, these are movies that have taken so long to make. And we've also seen this where we get trailers where the CGI isn't finished, or it's still kind of a rough cut almost. It doesn't do anything for your movie.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Brett. Narcolepsy 27. Final Vinyl is going to rule.
Yes.
That's right.
You spelled it wrong.
Oh, that's you're like me. You're like me with poor Wicked art.
Drag him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rudy. Just kidding.
Yeah, what are you gonna do now, Narcolepsy? What are you gonna do now? You gonna say Christopher Reeves? Yeah. The CTB channel. I saw Superman last night. In my opinion, it's the best DC movie since The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing totally 180 from what we just saw.
Yeah.
Gopal. that said, the Lord of the Rings books were not for me at all, and I thought the movies were fine. I'm more in the Clerks 2 camp on Lord of the Rings.
That's fine.
Yeah, not Kris.
I get that. A lot of people don't want to hear grass described for pages on pages. I get it. I love it.
That's hilarious. Mike K, I'm excited for Brett's YouTube channel. Me too.
Thank
I'll
you.
tell you this, I'll give Brett some props. Brett has really been working hard on his channel. I get 87 texts a day now about it, and I'm with no complaints because he's paying me back for the 87 texts about literally how do you put this blade into this thing. So it is totally fine that he does it, and because I'm not to be condescending, I'm proud of Brett. He's been working hard, and he's putting a lot of effort into the channel. So please go and subscribe. Get him to 500 before we end the stream. Brett, what are you at right now?
350 maybe? Refresh. Oh, I'm on
Brett, I should subscribe. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
I'm such a dick. Let me do that.
Yeah, do that. Kris, are you subscribed to this channel? Be honest. No, you're not.
I am subscribed to this channel.
All right. Dixon Cider became a YouTube member. Thank you, Dixon.
Thank you, Dixon. 341.
There you go. 341. Look, even if we get to 400 today,
Yeah, geez. I mean, I was excited when I got to 2.
That's right. Mr. I crap and shits. Hello, Kristian, Brett, and Kris. Eric here. Oh, wait, our handles are back. Yeah, it's like I don't know how the handles came back.
Yeah.
LOL. Seeing Superman tomorrow. Kristian, blink twice. The post credits are great. I mean, I don't have to blink twice. There's no embargo anymore. They're fine. I don't think the post credits are great. No, I think they're fine. Yeah. Zeus Fleming. Hi all. Am I the only one who thinks a Static Shock live action film movie is more important or just as important as Batman or Wonder Woman movies? Should Gunn make it a top priority? I'm going to say yes. It's just you. Because I don't even know. It's not as important as Batman or Wonder Woman. I don't know who that person is. Static Shock. You do, Kris, because you're a comic book junkie. I don't know who Static Shock is. It's as important. Brett, have you ever heard of Static Shock before today? Did you think it was something I did to my hand while trying to fix the air?
It was something what happens when your clothes get a little sticky.
Right.
So
both can be true.
Yes.
He's a great character. He's a wonderful character. And I think a lot of people my age too really resonate with this character because it was a cartoon show as well.
Yeah.
That was super, super fun. But he's really great in the comics. There's a crossover event in like Justice League and Batman Beyond too, where he's like an old man helping out. He's a rad character. And it's just really great representation and stuff too.
Okay. Dixie Normus. Nice. Brett, you're the man. I'm going to rub one out in your honor. Kristian, wish me luck. Good luck, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Zeus Fleming. Hi, all. Am I the only one who thinks a Static Shock? Wait, we did that one already.
Wait, whoa, Zeus.
You did it twice, Zeus? Thank you, Zeus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zeus.
But I still agree with myself. But Kris agrees with herself, and I think that's
real quick. I'm more excited about Fantastic Four because I don't know much about it, and that's been my.
Yeah.
I'm not a DC. I'm not a Marvel. I like new stories, so I would be more excited about learning about a news character like Static Shock than I would Batman or one.
All right. Michael, as a fan of the Dune books, the name change makes sense. Messiah doesn't have enough material for a film, so it'll probably be pulling from Messiah and the next novel. Love from the East Coast, Canada. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I think that's going to be. I'm just excited to get another Dune movie. I want to see how they're going to make it work, and from the events of what happened in the last one, to see where the hell they are now and how they're going to, incorporate a lot of the stuff that he set up that wasn't in the book. That's going to be interesting to me. So, they pick from whatever sources you have to and rewrite it a little bit. That's fine. Hybrid Strike 3. Dixie Dormus, I would run out to you rubbing one out from Red. Much love to Kristian and crew. Thanks.
Hey, appreciate it. Mom, shout out to my mom in the chat.
For watching. Yes. Perfect. You've made it, Brett. You've made it. Tom talking home. Crazy thing in 2027, Starfighter from Star Wars and Beyond the Spider-Verse are releasing a week apart from each other. Should one move? No, I don't think. I mean, in a certain aspect, it's the same audience, but in another aspect, it's not. But it's also 2027. Well, 2026 is going to be a stacked year in general. I don't know what 2027 looks like, but I don't think it should move. Do you think it should move, Kris?
No, I feel like that would have a really nice symbiotic relationship, honestly,
Yeah.
of, oh, I'm already at the theater. I'll go ahead and go see this. Or, oh, that gets me excited about this movie. Because, yeah, there's a
Right.
great Venn diagram of similar audiences there.
Brett, did you see the Spider-Verse movies?
Yeah.
Great.
I love them. Yeah,
Good.
totally cool.
Yeah.
Got a little the little comic booky thing bugged me a little bit.
Yeah, I like the first one better than the second for sure. I thought the second I just watched it recently. It's really good, but it drags for a little bit, and then the first one doesn't drag as much. The second one drags, and then by the time it picks up, it really picks up. Go Pal. Best reviewed DC movie since the Suicide Squad feels like faint praise, like best American style light lager from the old Miller Lite. I mean, that's not unfair. I mean, they really haven't had much great stuff. Yeah. Zeus Fleming is off to work. He'll watch later. Thank you, Zeus.
Hey,
Come on back, and you'll see us chatting about your questions.
Rubbing one out.
Rubbing one out. Here, don't do that. We get canceled.
No, not on this.
Not on the air. Not on this show. Go to somebody else's show. Yeah, pop in. Yeah, get a link from somebody else's show and just show up and start doing that and get them kicked off. Okay.
A Twitch raid or no?
Yeah, right. It's called a disgusting raid on that point. Go Pal. I can never keep Bloodsport and Kickboxer straight. 100%.
Can't either, but I've seen them both 1,000 times.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch those. I want to see if either Sam or Tina has seen those and watch those.
My brother used to rewind to different parts and watch it over and over and over again.
But this question I can answer easily. Go Pal. Which is Tong Po and which is Chung Li? Tong Po is Kickboxer. Chung Li is Bloodsport. It's Kung Li, isn't it? Isn't it C-U-N-G? Or maybe it's Chung Li. I'm thinking of the MMA fighter, but yes, Chung Li is Bloodsport. And I love when Van Damme gets blinded. That's so stupid. Chung Li is Bolo Young. Yes. Okay, so again, 58. I think that's impressive.
It's not bad.
I do.
This is less embarrassing.
Yeah, Troy. Pork chop sandwiches. Best. Pork chop sandwiches is absolutely. That was when the internet was. I mean, the internet was brand new, and people were doing gifted stuff. Speaking of gifts, Roger gifted 5 memberships. Man, you guys are just continuing to build up that community over there. Thank you. Okay, it's a big one here from Troy. Hey, Kris, who got you into voice acting? Any particulars growing up? Brett, same question. Favorite sketch artists, comedians from back in the day? Christian, favorite comedians other than Carlin and anyone you know personally? Fair questions. Okay, we'll start with you because Chris Carr was asked first.
Oh man, I think I always recognized voice actors like Christine Cavanaugh was very important to me, E.G. Daily, Tara Strong, but it wasn't until I heard Steve Bloom in Cowboy Bebop and learned that like that was a job I could have where I went, oh my gosh, that's so cool. The Muppets were obviously very influential and everything, but Steve Bloom was the big one, especially because anime, so much of it is in Texas for reasons. And so it was, I can do this and I can live in my home state and have this kind of work and pursue this kind of career. Holy shit, that's amazing. So those ones were really informative.
Brett?
Yeah, that's I mean, OG SNL is where I first got into it, but I would say the whole Farley era was pretty awesome for sketch. Comedians, of course, Robin Williams, Carlin, of course, and then Bill Hicks was my one that really got me into like just kind of being crazy.
I'll tell you who so you took two of mine, but the ones I was going to answer, but I'm surprised you left someone out. I'm surprised you left 2 people out. I would have guessed for you that you would have said Belushi and Steve Martin.
Yes, exactly. Well, you know that's what you've just made my fear known again, is that when I get these questions, I'm afraid I'm going to answer wrong. Oh,
well, there you go. I know you do well. That's your real answer.
You're right. Those are. I panic on these. This is like I'm going to do SAT.
Yeah. Because the second they asked, well, Brett's going to be Belushi and Steve
Well, that would Belushi would fit in the old school SNL OG.
Yeah, mine were again. You said not to say it, but say it anyway. Carlin was the end all be all to me, and then Richard Pryor, Bill Hicks, Rodney Dangerfield. Who else? I say at the beginning, Robin Williams, obviously. Sam Kinison, and. Yeah, and I'll tell you look, even though his shtick at first was when he started, he was known for kind of one thing and being controversial and with Andrew Dice Clay, right? Dice, when he wasn't just doing the filthy stuff, I had the pleasure of seeing him so many times at the Comedy Store, about as solid of a comedian as you're going to get. Some of the stuff that he would say and do off the cuff, and it wasn't just like the dirty sex humor. He had a lot of stuff. He was and he still is hilarious. I mean, you can see it in his Instagram. It's brilliant because he knows how to kind of take the piss, as they say, on himself, and he's one of those guys. So that's a lot of the ones kind of growing up that I would mention. I'm sure I forgot somebody, but there you go. Okay, next one. Randall W. I'm here for good person and asshole versions of Carr.
Thank you, Randall, and also up yours.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't really think you have it in you to be an asshole.
I try so hard. My dad has like the meanest response to people where he does this like, do I look like somebody who wants to speak to you? And he's like a 6'5" frost giant. And then after I try to do it, it's, do I look like I want to speak to you? I look like a Cupid doll. I'm just.
Yeah. My favorite insult that I ever saw is Ethan Irwin is he's one of the funniest people. People wouldn't know from Schmodown. You just like, oh, he's just a trivia beast. And when he turned heel, he was a good heel. One of the funniest people I know. Very funny dude. So much so that I sent the script to him today to get his notes on it. But he, my whole roommate. So you remember Adam Winkleman, obviously, Brett.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So we went. This is before Winkleman was working at Silver Pictures, and he literally just met Ethan. I mean, now they're friends, but he had just met him. So we went out to eat after we saw the War of the Worlds. I think I went to the premiere of that thing, and we sat down, and it was we went to lunch afterwards in Westwood, and it was me, Ethan, his now wife, and Winkleman. There's probably a couple other people. I don't know what Winkleman said. He said something to him, and Ethan just stopped and goes, every time you open your mouth, you embarrass yourself. He goes back to eating food. And it was so funny in how he delivered it. Crushed it. And I just always remember that. It was like the other one I remember is this isn't Ethan or Image, it's my friend Jeff. We were watching Rocky 2. We were in between spring break, and we went back to my house. We were watching Rocky 2, and it was me, my friend Jeff, and this guy Gabe. Gabe was like a friend of my friend Jeff's, and we're sitting there watching Rocky 2. And for people who know the movie, are you familiar with the movie? You guys, Rocky 2 pretty well. So there's this whole thing where he's asked to fight Apollo Creed, and he finally signs up to do it, and Adrian doesn't want him to do it, and he's worried about his health, and then he's training, but he can't really commit to it because Adrian's not supporting him. And then Adrian has a thing happen to her where she's pregnant and she goes into a coma, right? So she is out, and there's this whole thing. Rocky just stops training. He's going every day. He's by her side. He doesn't want to see the kid without, and it's this 5 to 10 minute montage of him in the hospital, Mickey talking him through it. And he's just there, and we're watching this movie. And after 10 minutes, she wakes up, and Gabe goes, "She was in a coma?" and Jeff looks at him. He goes, "What I like about you, Gabe, you catch on quick." Just those two lines just killed me. And I actually wrote that into Grasping at Straws. When you see it in Grasping at Straws, I just put on the channel when Max says, "That's what I like about you, Tommy. You catch on quick." That came from Jeff on that moment. So anyway, long story about nothing. Brian Anthony, my daughter is 9, never seen any comic movies. The new Superman okay for her? I think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I think
I'd say yeah.
I think it's a fun adventure for her. Mike Joyce, support for Brett's beard. Best beard in the business. Mark Riley has the best hair in the business. Brett's got the best beard.
Except for when kids call you Santa Claus.
Yeah. Look at Matthew Garrett throwing some positivity in here today. Saw Superman last night. Great. Loved it. There you go. Nice, Matthew. Joe Hendo TV saw Superman last night. I liked it, but didn't love it. Getting so many different ranges here. Isaiah Smith, having Brett back and adding Kris has been great. The Wednesday show has been, we were missing. Wednesday show was kind of like, it was sometimes there'd be a show. Sometimes it was like just a random guest, which was fun. We had a great Clark Wolf on. Whenever she was available, we were able to put her on. But there was no consistency to Wednesday. Chris Carr became available. Brett Sheridan was back, and now we have our Wednesday show. So how about that? Matthew Garrett, it felt like Batman, Superman Adventures, JLA shows. Yes, it does. It absolutely feels like one of those shows. Mike George, support for Kris and her dogs. There you go.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Joe for show. this Superman movie has topped my list of Superman movies. I really had such a good time in the line. I put one foot in front of the other like everyone else. There you go. I'm not going to ruin that for anybody. JM, do Rotten Tomato scores matter? Paddington 2 is at a 99%, 0 Oscar noms. The Rotten Tomato 100% Club is a surprising list. I think it does matter. It matters because of optics. Because it's still in conversation. Because if Superman had a 28% Rotten Tomatoes, that's all you'd be talking about. It's got a 28%. It's got to be crap. It's 20, and it is a flawed system. I've talked about it many. Like if 150 critics all thought that it was a decent movie and a 3 out of 5, it'd have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even if they all thought it was decent and just not rotten, but not great, but a 3 out of 5, it'd have 100%. And if everybody said it's not the best, well, it's not terrible, but I don't know, 2.9, and 110 people all had 2.9, it'd have 0. It's a flawed system. But it counts, yes. Kris, do you think it counts?
I mean, I like the Rotten Tomato score in terms of knowing how your average movie-going audience likes things. And I say average with kind of quotations around it too, because these are people who take the time to go on Rotten Tomatoes and rate things. But I think this comment here speaks more to something can be critically acclaimed and not beloved enough to be something you watch over and over again.
Yeah.
Right.
Room is an incredible film. I'm never going to watch that movie ever again.
Right.
But I'm going to watch Paddington 2 every time I'm a little bit sad because that bear makes me feel alive. He's so sweet. I love him. There's hope in the world when I watch Paddington 2.
True. Like, and sometimes I don't understand what does Back to the Future have on Rotten Tomatoes, right? People were going back and revisited. Like, if that doesn't have 100%, it's a stupid system. If Schindler's List doesn't have 100%, stupid system. You know, it's like there's some movies you can't, because again, like I said, there's no world that anybody could give Schindler's List or Back to the Future under a 3 out of 5. It's you can't. You can say I don't love it. You can't say as a film it's under a 3 out of 5. So every single critic, if there's 300 critics, it should have 100%. So it's a flawed system. It really is. Matthew Garrett, best thing I can say is DCU is different than MCU. They're not trying to be Marvel like the DCEU sort of did. This is original from concept to screen. Feels like Gunn learned what not to do at Marvel. I agree with that. I agree. I think that he's not trying to be Marvel, and that they did last time. Yeah. Matthew Garrett, and Soups is not woke or political. Thank God. I don't agree with you that it's not political. I think it absolutely is political. I think that it's intended to be political, and a lot of movies are political. The question is, does it slam you over the head with it? It does not. The whole conflict is in this movie is political, so it is political.
Every time somebody says woke too, I just go, what does that mean to you? What does that mean? And I want you to explain it to me. I need to know what that criticism means, actually.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes I understand what people are trying to say when they say that, but I think sometimes they use it as a crutch.
Exactly. I want to know exactly what your problem with it is, as opposed to that overarching kind of term.
Right. I agree. And Variety Sex for trying to bait the cast. I don't remember what they did, so I can't. It's hard for me to say. Legend M600. Are you a Yankees fan? How long have you been watching this channel? Ask me that. They killed the Mariners. I know. Come on, man. He's got to be a newer fan, which is totally yes, big Yankee fan. Joe Hendo TV. How would you rank the Superman films? I would go Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's not a Superman film, though. That's not a Superman film. Man of Steel is number 2. Batman vs Superman. Batman vs Superman. I don't even know. Would you consider that a Superman film? Maybe because it's Batman vs Superman. I mean, kind of
partially.
Yeah. Okay. I won't give you Justice League, but I'll give you Batman vs Superman. What is Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition? What's for 1978? For number 5 is 2. Number 6 is the 2025 one. 7 is Returns. 8 number 3. 9 Superman 4. Yeah, let's see. I would go, for me, number 1 is Superman 2. Number 2 is probably Man of Steel. No, number 2 is probably 1978. Then 3 is probably Man of Steel. 4 is 2025. I don't know. Now I'm lost.
I know that just reads like a Adobe Premiere
I have to
confirmation code right now.
I'm just give you the top. Those are my top 4. Kris hasn't seen the new one yet. It's hard to rank. But are you a Donner fan?
A Donner fan.
Richard Donner, the Christopher Reeve movies, the first 2.
Yeah, I love them. Superman 2 is the one. Sorry, I went immediately to serial killers and was like, what?
Yeah.
No, Christopher.
I'm so sorry. I'm broken. No, I love Superman 2 is probably my favorite one. And then we've talked about this a little bit too. Of these, honestly, like Superman 2 is my Superman movie, but then I always go back to the animated Superman series. And a lot of that is nostalgia for what I grew up with. But I always just loved that tone, and I loved that Clark Kal-El kind of dichotomy that they established in that too.
Wicked Art somehow still decided he wanted to help us this channel. Sex scenes in movies that have nothing to do with the plot. My children watch stuff with violence, but I wanted them to watch Sinners, but the sex in the movie was really not needed, so they didn't see it. I don't really agree with you on that.
I feel like it made sense.
I do. I think from what it, especially, well, I don't want to spoil it. I do think for the kind of whole sexuality behind it and what was going on with Preacher Boy, I kind of think in the raw side of what they set up, and same thing, I kind of think that it wasn't just thrown in there, but I don't disagree that, it's disappointing. I want to watch this with my family. It's hard to do. You're sitting at, like, I wouldn't watch that with my daughters, obviously. So yeah, I understand that, the disappointment of it, but I think it does. I think the context was there. Kris, do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's really important in this context. And I understand there are certain times in movies or TV shows where you go, I don't think I needed that. That was there for just, I like to refer to it as sexposition, where like things like Game of Thrones would go, hey, this is probably going to bore you a little bit, so let's set it in a brothel. And that way you could kind of go, titties and plot. Yay, great. We got them all.
It's a name of a movie.
It's going to be greenlit soon by HBO Max.
Already has been.
But I think that you can, obviously, I'm not going to tell somebody how to parent, but I think you can kind of pick and choose some of those moments too as they get older, if it makes sense for the plot and as a movie that everyone can maturely watch together.
Did you see Sinners yet, Brett?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's on HBO Max.
But I have a nieces that are 2, 4, and 6. I'll be sure to watch it right away with them.
Yes, definitely.
No,
Edit the movies. I saw Superman last night. Mr. Terrific stole the show for me. Well, not according to me. According to me, Mr. Fantastic was pretty good at it. That's why I called him Mr. Fantastic like 87 times in the and people kept saying, I can't wait to see Mr. Fantastic in the movie. I'm like, I even told Luke, I'm like, can you cut that out? He's like, not right now. I was like, fine. So. Yeah, I kept calling him Mr. Fantastic. People were like, I would get who you meant. It was one time I was really excited with the comments. I was like I'm looking like, oh no, and they're like, you meant Mr. Terrific, but we got it. I was like, thank you. But yes, Mr. Terrific was really good in the movie. It was very good in the movie. I liked him a lot. Okay, next one after that. Again, guys, 67.
Hey, look at that.
It's really good. It's really good. I don't think you have a shot in hell of beating Roxy and Roxy and Mike. I think. No, but I think this is a hell of a performance. Wicked Art Reeves. Just kidding, but balls in the head are coming. Fair. That's fair.
Let's be real honest. You wants to see Wicked Art put a big pair of balls on Kristian's head.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to call you. Oh, my air conditioning ain't working. Oh, my God. How do I tie my shoes? Oh, I mean, come on. This guy's lucky enough he learned how to put me on the screen.
The struggle is real.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. How you doing, Mama?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, man. It's hard being out here. It's hard for a chimp.
It is hard for a chip. Man, and especially with them big balls. You got to throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier.
Yeah, it's hot out here for a chip. It is.
Yeah.
Chip walking all over the place. Oh, yeah. Someone's got to make me a shirt. Okay, I'll be back. I got a date with the rhinoceros.
Okay, bye, big balls. Thank you.
Definitely a shirt for that one.
Yeah.
I watch with the kids.
I want to steal that line from him. It's hard out here for a chip. Really good. All right. So Legend says, hey, Brett, are you going to do a live chat? live chats rock.
Yeah, at some point I want to do a live show. The problem with the listening to the stuff is I have to break it up quite a bit because of copyright. So I want to do live shows where I actually sit down and listen to the albums with people and really dive into some of the fun stuff.
Okay. Simon Section. Kristian, do you remember Ang Lee's Hulk? Wasn't that shot like a comic book? The scene where Josh Lucas shoots the Hulk and turns around with the explosion. Oh my God, that's terrible. I remember that. Yeah, that stupid slow motion. That was it's awful. I saw that recently on social media. It's really like how did Ang Lee do that? You remember that?
Movie's so bad.
It's a bad movie. Oh, that's really bad. Okay. Edit the movies. Join late. We're rubbing it out. Brett, nice. Rubbing out show. Legend. MM600. Chris Carr, I love you. You're so cool. Oh, thank you.
I got you, Legend.
Legend is a legend. Troy. Cowboy Bebop, so effing good. Anime for non-anime fans.
Oh my, it is.
They did a live action that ate it, right?
They did, which I am kind of an apologist for it. Of some of the things actually work really well. Of where we're going, kind of just anime to live action, tone for tone. A lot of big missteps too.
Yeah.
But if you are not into anime, Cowboy Bebop is a great kind of gateway drug to see if you like it, because it's kind of Firefly-esque. It's a space western. Or if you need another anime that you kind of are on the fence about watching that kind of content, Erased is a really good one. It's a time travel murder mystery. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that can kind of get you into the subgenre.
Okay. Scott Cross, who's been a member for 2 months. Thank you. So many members staying too. That's the big thing. We have a lot of the unedited reactions that are going up. We have the comic book from Wicked Art that you can read the whole thing now. It's great. Scott Cross says, saw Jurassic World the other day. It's dumb, but I slammed popcorn into my face and I saw dinos fight. So overall had a great time. Went in just for that. I think that if you go in just for that, you can at least go, hey, and then watch the movie. Did you see that one yet, Kris?
I still haven't. I was trying to go today, and then my friend canceled on me. But people getting eaten by dinosaurs is just fun. It's just fun, and that's all I need these movies to be.
Yeah, don't try to get invested in the characters. You can't. It's impossible. Philly G support. Thank you, Philly G. 70 at the moment. 70. That's pretty damn good, guys. With 15 minutes left, could they? What kind of turnaround would this be if they could win? Unbelievable. Joe Show. Betting on 167 million domestic Superman opening. That's a big push past what it's tracking at. That's tough to do, but 167 could be interesting. I still think 135. Edit the movies. Kris, agree, Kris. If people's criticism is woke, I just tune out. There's got to be more to it.
I just need you to expand on that thought. If that's your only thing that you've got to say about the movie, I need to go, but what does that mean to you? Yeah. And why do you feel that way? I need to know the actual criticism, not just a blanket term. The same way if someone goes, sucks.
I could have easily dumbed down, and somebody could have used what I said before with G.I. Joe. Could be like, oh, they made it woke and they put an Asian guy in there. You don't take me seriously if I say that. If I go, well, no, when I read the comics, it was because of the history. I've given you a reason. I've given you my understanding of why. I'm not coming from it because the guy was Asian. Could have been anything else. I came in because it just, for what I read as a kid, it was relevant to the character. So you don't have to agree with me, but if I present my argument that way, you know where I'm coming from, as opposed to just saying, oh, well, it doesn't do anything. It's like when my little one gets mad and she gets upset and I tell her, I go, I said this to her all the time. I said, do you understand how cute you are as a human being? I said, you learn how to express yourself with your cuteness, you'd probably win a lot more arguments. But when you scream and yell and you have fits, no one's listening to you. Like, it's just like, you're eventually going to stop having a screaming fit, but you've done nothing. And she gets it, and she gets cute the next time. So that's what I say. I think it's the same thing. Tyler Pfeiffer. I personally have a hard time trusting reviewers who review Superman in Superman attire. That's what Roka said. That said, I am encouraged that the reviews are positive. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that? Do you think that reviewers, if they show up in a Superman shirt, that they're going to give a biased review?
Not necessarily, because I feel like a lot of times these are the people we have to win over the most. Is that your Superman? Is that your idea of this character? Because you already are a person who has a very clear concept of this character. Whereas on the whole, like in the cultural zeitgeist, people know who Superman is, but they also might just go, oh yeah, he's the guy in the cape with the underoos. He's really strong. I kind of trust the Superman diehard fans to tell me how
Mhm.
they feel about this character, so I can figure out like what type of Superman I'm getting and how that kind of
Right.
factors into everything.
Well said.
Agreed.
Nice, Brett.
Riley would be a tough Superman.
I know, it's
I
true.
would take whatever he says about Superman to heart.
Dixon Cider, has Brett or Kris seen Seven Samurai?
Yeah, Kurosawa.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Perfect
Yeah,
answers.
we had to watch it in film school.
Yes. Corn Emperor, support for Kris and Brett. Go Soups. Enter the DCU.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will. There is one big concern that I have. I can't say yet in here because it would be a spoiler, but there is a concern about the DCU that I have with something that I saw in the movie. I'll bring it up in the spoiler discussion for sure. But I'm just curious if they're going to play things a certain way that they did here. That's all I'm going to say. But we'll see. Okay. JM. Axel Braun Superman 2025. What's that? You know what that is?
No.
Axel Braun Superman from 2025.
I don't know what that
I
is.
can give it a good
Armada. Any word on Bear season 4 thoughts? Y'all need to see it. Y'all need to see it. I haven't seen. I started watching episode 1, and then I got interrupted at my house and I couldn't finish it. So I gotta finish it. Did you watch it, Kris?
I think we're close to done. I don't. There's so many episodes. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I keep going. Oh, this is the last one, or this is the last one.
I'm 4 in, and it's just I'm not loving it. I'm trying to get more excited about the show. I'm hoping it turns around for me, because right now it just kind of feels pretty repetitive and a little stagnant this season.
Yeah,
but maybe that's the point.
There's the last one we watched is like at a wedding, and there were a lot of characters that I couldn't remember who they were, or wasn't sure if I was supposed to know who they were, and they were talking about people I didn't know who they were talking about. It was a cousin's ex-wife's wedding or whatever. Everybody was there. There were a lot of long back and forths in that one that kind of bored me a little bit, but yeah, I had fun with it. There was a couple touching moments, but I agree, it's trying to make the restaurant business have so much riding behind it is starting to become a little tough, I think.
I'm gonna say I gotta finish it. Legend favorite: Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman. People like that one.
That was a fun one growing up.
Mike Joyce. If you do live shows, Brett, then I hope you have guests like Dorina and other people in the space who are knowledgeable about music, just like you.
Of course.
Yeah. Matt Garrett. How's Matt Serra feel about Warrior the movie? Well, we've talked about it many times. He doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind it. He likes Kingdom better, but he doesn't mind it. Dana White hates it, and Joe Rogan hated it. Which is crazy. And he actually just had he had the director on. He had oh my God, Gavin O'Connor. He had Gavin on the show, and Gavin was not. He's hurt that he wanted Dana to love it. He's a big MMA guy, but yeah, it's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. Gopal, I've been watching our Stranger Things reactions, our Real Rich Stranger Things reactions, and got to season 3 this morning. Kris is giving solid 11 vibes today.
Heck yeah. I am so displaced with this hair, with this Harfoot hair. I should have been born in like the 70s, so I could have really enjoyed the 80s. What a misstep.
Yeah. Let's see. Cool Cash CG. You tried to warn us about James Gunn humor. WTF. Like I said, I think that, as I mentioned, and it's so funny because I had the biggest issue with it in the trailer. And people are giving me so much crap, as we talked about, and the fact that I was like, "Nobody wanted to be light." I was like, "No, I just wanted to make sense." And I didn't mind it this time around, because the way that it was set up. But people seem to have the problems that I had with it in the trailer. So I think it's gonna be a thing. There are times that you're just like, "Oh, you probably didn't need a joke there." It just didn't bother me as much as in the past. Joe for show. Do you think parents will take their kids to see Superman multiple times or only once? Depends on how the kid responds to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ed of the movies. What I love about your channel and guests, Kristian, is that everyone explains their points with nuance and honesty as opposed to hating to hate. Thank you for all you do. I mean, well, that's the point. You want to be able to have discussions, agree, disagree, and all those things, because like even before, when I was telling, sometimes I don't get it. It's like you can go, look, here are all the things I loved. No, there's these things here too. Oh, you're being too negative. You don't understand what conversation is. Then. You don't understand what conversation is if you feel that way. But I don't know, Brett. Why are you part of this channel?
I have no idea. That's my favorite comment, and it used to hurt. It doesn't hurt anymore. It makes me laugh. When I sent that to you, I was like, "Oh, somebody's new here." I just don't know why he doesn't have this person on there. I'm a human. I'm a human person that reads things.
And I guess, Kris, same thing. Why'd you decide to be part of this circus?
Oh man, I really like having actual discussions about movie news and everything. And you guys have a really great community over here too. I like that your chat and everything does have nuance to it as well. It's really great to be able to jump in there and go, okay, but why would you think that? And have an actual discussion with people in real time. It's fun.
Well, there we go. Thank you so much. And we're happy to have you. Matthew Garrett, how many to beat the streak? I like being nice. To beat the streak or beat the win right now? They're at 80, so they need, what is that? What's the math? So 202. They need a lot.
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah. Armada, how high pitched can you make your voices go?
I feel like I'll call a bunch of dogs if I do it.
Yeah. About like this high. Sometimes I answer the phone and I say, "Hello, honey. This is a woman speaking. I'm with your husband." You have to say you're a woman speaking to really clarify that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty squeaky already, I think.
Squeaky. All right.
Does this count?
Yeah. All right, let's see. Matthew Garrett, Soup showed me we can trust Gunn with DCU. Hey, that's fair. I think there's going to be a lot of people that feel that way, and there's going to be some people that don't. Chris DeHoy, support for Kris and Brett. I didn't love Soups, but at least it was hopeful and not mopey. That's true. I don't think anybody can argue that. We need more hope and kindness. Good cast, too. Yeah. I think the cast, I definitely think the characters should have been evolved more. That's a definite. That is an absolute definite. We're getting to the end here so far. This is the last one right now. Armada. The boys' tone for a G.I. Joe show could go all the way.
Oh,
now, I don't know, because you want to get
it's a real American hero.
It's an adult audience with that. I still think, I'm telling you, I think that if you went, if they went to that tone of the Marvel comics, I mean, that's one of the things. If I ever run into a lot of money to where I could just throw away like Apple FU money, I'm gonna adapt the Marvel G.I. Joe comics. That's a promise. Legend says, I sent 5. I love you, Kris. Your hair is rad.
Nice.
Oh, thank you, Legend. I appreciate that. Because I do feel like a feral hobbit often. But,
So
we're just trying to deal with humidity. We're trying to make it work.
Yeah. We did it. Guys, we did it. So 82.
Yay.
Oh, no, I'm just lying. 83. Bobby, I was disappointed in the movie itself. What's up, Bobby Jackson? But I love the characters and excited for the future of the DCU. I watched it again. I'm watching it again tomorrow to see my perspective change now that I know what I'm in for. That's what you're talking about, Kris. I know Bobby is an anomaly too, because he's just such a wonderful human being. But you get a comment like that, it's like, okay, look, he says, what does he say up top? I was disappointed. Is that negative? No, he was disappointed, but he loved the characters, gives a positive. Excited for the future, hopeful. Watching again tomorrow, open-minded. See if my perspective changes. That's the kind of comments you hope for all night long. Armada.
Absolutely.
What drunks Brett pitch for the new Bay Transformers movie?
Michael Bay, I want no story. Just all robots turning into things, or do the things turn into robots? I don't know. But an explosion every 2 seconds.
What can I get you to drink?
Oh, I'll have a.
Oh, it froze. That's even better. It's even better that
He's
froze.
that drunk.
Yeah, he froze in time. Mellow Willow. Kristian, is Brett and B Nuts reunited yet? You mean Big Balls?
I like the renaming of Big Nuts.
Big Nuts probably would have been better name. That probably should have been his name. Is Big Nuts. That probably should have been his name. That's his cousin. But what do you feel about this, Brett? Brett? No. All right. Well, perfect ending to the show. All right, get out of here. We'll bring him back next week. Kris, thank you so much. Again, let the good people know where to find you.
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at It's Kris Carr. You can also go check out at Two Filthy Casuals Pod. We are on wherever you get your podcasts. We are on YouTube. Again, this week we're going to have a little blurb about crypto. We've got some other fun stuff on there right now too, me and Amy Newman. And then lastly, if you have any interest in voiceover, check out Speak Friend Studio. That's where me and my husband teach people out voiceover, about dialects, and make demos for folks. So go check it out, all that stuff out.
Thank you, Kris Carr. And thank you guys for being here. And again, Devin Sawa and Holtzman for the DCU. Sure. Why not? It's a nice 2 random cast. Might as well.
Sure.
Brian
Why
Holtzman.
not?
Sign them up. Be amazing. Thank you for being here, guys. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. If you haven't watched Grasping at Straws, please go do that. If you haven't gone and get tickets for the New York show, myself and Sam are going to be live on August 9th. We hope that you come check us out. The link's in the description for that. The Clips channel. And I'm going to give you updates. The new script is done. I'm sending out to some people with some notes. We're getting it back. Hopefully get it to the director soon. And I should have some more news. And when we do, we'll get that Kickstarter going, seeing if you guys want to see us do some acting. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you to Kris Carr and Brett Sheridan. Go check out Brett's show, Final Vinyl, his new show, Brett Sheridan channel. You can find the link in the description. All right. Thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on the flip side. Back here tomorrow with myself and Steph. Bye-bye.